All Super Pro Wrestle persons are highly trained professional athletes. Do not attempt to copy their performances or actions. This program is solely intended for your viewing pleasure.
Moves have been missed.
She fell flat on my face. It was pure embarrassing.
Physics have been broken.
What the fuck happened there?
Laws of time and space shattered in an instant. Yes, this is entertainment, but the glitches are real. Whoever you are, whatever you do, please don't leave this at home.
Gonna party, better get a go ahead, please, I guess. Tell me what to do, boogie never last, gonna be dudes got boots on legs. Gonna party, gonna bump up, savvy guys. Gonna tell you guys, but fucking summer! Run like these heavy people, I'm fitting for the few guys. Longtemps gars pour les exploits, rien à tout with twist. Something gars qui s'attaque pas, I'm running about it, I'm free. That's finished to party, 2000 is running home. We better do the details. When parties couche et voiture. Return of Biba Diva. Standing up for the Canada. Get a party, I'm better get a go here. Tell me what to do, we don't like, we need to be told. Get a party, I'm better get a go here.
Hello and welcome to the latest installment of Scudbum Saturday Night, dealing with at least some of the fallout from the Hyperbowl, and we're just going to jump straight into action with a one-on-one debut. Betting is now live for Bobby Comets versus Duke Yeehaw. Why is the music not working? I'm going to fire that sound ban again. Give it one more chance and this is how he repays me. Also, I realise it's Bobby Comet, not Bobby Comets, but I keep thinking like Jonathan Comets from the Space Pants thing. Dun 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 dun. How's the volume, by the way? Is the volume okay? Here he is, Duke Yeehaw! Apart from the useless sound guy, the music's fine. Cool. There he is. Besides the Hyperbowl, we last saw Duke Yeehaw in a hell of a match with our NSFW champion Masao Kawamoto. I didn't even mean to pick this music. I thought it was just on the default. Fuck. But it works. Let's go. That's it. My Danhausen seems to get worse every time I fucking try it. Honestly. Dougie! Thank you for the 300 bits. The alert will come up soon. They've been delayed for some reason. I know Gen BI had the same problem a few days ago. Steve Green, the lookalike guy, is Bobby Comet, a newcomer to the Wrestleverse. Not made by me, made by Bobby, who shows up in the chat sometimes. Duke Yeehaw, of course, designed by me and created by me to the specifications. And finally we get the alert. He sadly does not have a space pants attire. Yeah, I've not been on a lot lately, Doogie. I've just been gubbed. I've still not got round to fixing all that shit. Sorry, shit. I think it's just the cheers and boos at work. Yeah, I've just been drained. And I think, okay, I'll get round to it, and I'll get round to doing stuff, and then before I know it, it's past time to be doing a stream, and like shit. You know? But I'm going to try and get back on a bit more regularly.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
This motherfucker grabbing chairs. Football Belly, of course. I get it, I empathise completely, Dougie. Mainly, my main, I guess, output that's like I've been kept going on recently is, like I said earlier, the film review stuff. Woobabali is already a thing, Morgan. It belongs to the good people, IRM stream. Hippo, thank you for the subscription. With Amazon Prime, no less. Taking money directly out of the pocket of Jeff Bezos and giving it to me. Oh, there'll be more to come, Dougie. I'm thinking of making like a wee blog out of it or something, and I know it's not going to be a big thing or whatever, because like my tastes are incredibly niche, but just, you know, a bit of fun for whoever wants it, you know? And maybe get like guest writers in or something if there was like a film that a pal wanted to review or something. We were literally, hello Oswald, we were literally just talking about that. The game night Discord that I invited you into a while back, we might be doing it on there tomorrow. Depending on who's available and stuff. If not, it'll be another time, but we will be doing it. Because you are not the only person to suggest Surf Ninjas to me. And when I mentioned in that Discord, like, hey, I might do a film watch along, Mark was immediately like, do Surf Ninjas. The last one I watched for it was hey, okay, how you doing, my pal? Oh, Slim Pickens Shriver! But can he capitalise? He cannot. The last one I watched for it was a comedy action movie from the late 80s called Blind Fury, starring Rutger Hauer, and it was tremendous fun. It was one of those films that ordinarily it would just be okay, but like Rutger Hauer just made it so much better. Oh, I remember the Highlander TV show. It was kind of like corny and weird, but in a good way. From what I remember. But meanwhile, we've got a pretty fucking good match going on here. Bobby just getting his head driven into the canvas. The bit with the crocodile was fantastic. Nice doggy. Oh, I saw about that, Sasha. I've not got around to watching it yet, but I have seen about it. Oh God, what a big boot there from Bobby. There was a thing last night as well during the usual AEW watch along in the Game Night Discord. After it, kick out. I was chatting to Jay after it, and I showed him the like the bit from Ninja Kill where they're running up the hill and Ninja and stuff. Absolutely, like as I said in the Discord, there is a bit for recommending the films and all that. Please chuck them in there. I don't know what order I'll watch them in because I generally watch stuff as the mood takes me. Like, oh, I'm in the mood for this kind of thing, and I just watch that. But I will get around to all of them eventually. Also, I'm sorry for starting these off with a 20+ minute match. What the fuck? Have I ever watched Black Dynamite? No. Not that I recall. Bear in mind, there was a lot of films I watched like way back when I was like a teenager and stuff, like on late night TV, and I just don't remember much of any of them. I'll watch anything Doogie. The problem there is, though, I have seen The Room, and I'm trying to keep it to films I've never seen before. For the most part, at least. I might do some watch-alongs at some point that'll be films I've seen. Like I was actually talking to, I think, Steel Morrigan about this. Like, I really, even though I've seen it, I really want to do one of Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. Yeah, a few people were suggesting that weird-looking guy's films. I don't know what the deal with them is. Oh, he hurt. And could this be the last Lone Star Lariat of the match? No! How the fuck does he keep getting up? What's going on here? Even though I've seen it, albeit not in years, we'll think Fatal Deviation is a great shout. With your man Skinny Knacker. One more time. I think he may have chainsaw. He's given us a good match here, so I'm not going to complain about that. Dry hump the knee. I know people will shout at me for this one as well, but I don't think I've ever seen Point Break. What you have to understand is, you know how there's that whole thing on, it gets talked a lot about on Twitter, about like how wrestling fans are in their own wee world. And they don't pay attention to stuff out with wrestling. That's me, but with wrestling as well. I'm the epitome of being in my own wee world. Oh, with that nasty big boot there. Big DDT. Yeah, 30 plus minute opening match. Don't know what I'm doing to use, but yeah, it happens. Fire Pro gonna Fire Pro sometimes. I keep forgetting there's a RoboCop remake as well, honestly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Right, come on boys, wrap it up. We've got other matches to get through.
10,
He's just lariating the shit out of this man. I feel like this happens a lot in Duke Yeehaw matches, honestly. And for the record, for transparency, I don't even have the mods activated. Oh, all of that and it ends on a small package. Soundman messes up again. Big Hondo though. Deserved. Okay, so now it is the first of our revenge matches from the Hyperbowl, based on some of the eliminations that happened during the course of that show. The first one up will be Jason Jackpot, the stuntman, going up against the Hanover Fist, Jürgen Richter. Still disappointed that Canaanite rebuffed my idea of calling him Good Canood. Will Jason get fisted tonight? Let's find out. Here we go. I went with Guano Apes instead of Rammstein. Felt that would have been too on the nose. He was a beefy boy, got himself a good few eliminations. I don't know, like, I just felt given that the German guy Rammstein would have been a bit on the nose, so I went with Guano Apes instead. I mean, let's be honest, it was either going to be one of them or De Totenhosen. There's a question. Oh, Jürgen Richter, yeah, it'd be in all those kind of films that like Dolph Lundgren does now. What's your favourite action movie character name? Mine is John Matrix from Commando. The guy in Unmasking the Idol and Order of the Black Eagle is called Duncan Jacks. I think that's a pretty sweet name. John Wick. That's just you trying to win brownie points for Lost Wolfling. Lost Wolfling, of course, Twitter's foremost authority on all things John Wick. I would allow that, Brian. Fun fact, I found this out. The 70s Captain America movies, he played Captain America. I've got to watch those. Snake Plissken, I don't know what I was trying to say there. Snake Plissken's a good one. Oh, get lariated. Stay lariated. And get chopped and all while we were at it. I think one of the ones I really want to watch that's on my list is Revenge of the Ninja. That looks ridiculous. Here's another fun wee fact about Red Brown Sasha. The character who plays his love interest in Space Mutiny is his wife in real life. They have been married for many, many years, since like the 70s, I believe. Speedweed. Right, I've heard of Dick Wolf, but Speedweed? Imagine having a name as cool as Dick Wolf, though. You'd be set for life. No wonder they got into movies. His face buster there. Jackpot's trying to come back into it. I'm talking. Dick Blotz, that's a good name. That's a pretty sweet name. And there's a win for the Hanover Fist. Jürgen Richter had to keep it short because of that first match. Got very fisted. 84%. No bad, no bad. He's going to struggle to live up to that first match, given that first match, but... In the meantime, NL Slip in 50-foot blade against CM Chainsaw, Canadian Zebra. Hello, Jen. Also, the main bad guy in it looks kind of like Owen Hart. And they raid the house and like kill the wife, and he's like, "Find the damn pizza now!" So yes, films with that level of stupid, please send me your recommendations. In fact, Jay recommended me one the other night actually called Theodore Rex. And it's Whoopi Goldberg in a buddy cop film and her buddy's like a fucking dinosaur. And I have to say, like, part of me hopes it's like fucking Octodad and nobody actually acknowledges that he's a dinosaur. Oh yeah, we've got all the best entrance themes here, Bronson. Here we go! Never forget April Shower Spring Maytime Flips. Powerbomb right out the gate by NL Slip. Oh man! How do you get powerbombed by a zombie? Well, we've seen in movies, Roberta, that zombies are impossibly strong. Tell you a film I finally got around to watching a few weeks ago. It was like before I started all this stuff. That I wish I'd kept for it because of how silly it was. And that was Is it Night of the Living Dead or Revenge of the Living Dead? Part 3. The one where Melinda Clarke gets turned into a zombie, basically. I had that chainsaw. I think it was Supercar. Like back in the early days of it, I randomly drew Slip and absolutely smoked him.
Okay, baby.
And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I watched it because Melinda Clarke, you know, but like, it was nuts. And Melinda Clarke doing actual, like, she does serious TV now, I think. She was in like CSI and shit. Because she was like a dominatrix or something in CSI. I don't remember her name. Joanna. What was the name of the super hot dominatrix that Melinda Clarke played in CSI? Lady something.
Lady gets person.
And hello, hey Sound and Rage, how you doing? If you're new to Super Pro Wrestle, I get distracted from the matches and just talk shit a lot. It's kind of the charm, I hope. Today, we're mostly talking about movies. Weirdly, the main thing that kicked it off was me watching Shoot Fighter, which again has Bobo Young in it. And it's like one of the few films where he actually plays a good guy. But the thing that struck me about it, and I didn't know going in, was like I started watching it, and obviously like Cobra Kai is like huge now, right? So I start watching it, and literally two of the stars in it are Johnny Lawrence and John Kreese. I probably could, Roberto. People should follow it. Twitter.com/thepicturesginge. It's me talking about films and stuff. Just gifting them and making jokes and observations and shit as I go, and basically just so I'm not spamming people on my regular Twitter with it. The pictures, if anyone's curious, just comes from, it's like a Scottish colloquialism for the cinema. Like, I'm away to the pictures to see this, that, or the other. I think it's one of those turns of phrase that wouldn't really work in any other sort of like dialect other than Scots, I think. I'm trying to imagine an American saying, I'm going to the pictures, and it just sounds weird. Not that I can do an American accent. Oh, it's an English thing too? Okay. I'm still claiming it though. We're Scottish, we claim everything. You know, phones, TV, penicillin. Greco-Roman wrestling? Aye, that was us. yeah, I mean, I get that, Roberta. Like, a lot, like, Scotland and the north of England do have a lot of sort of dialect things in common. Film. That gets said here as well, Wolfley. Probably due to similarities in patterns of speech and stuff like that. Probably, Jen. I would imagine so. Well, we just got a scrap, not for the first time between these two teams. So yeah, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I'm a sucker for like the 60s and 70s, like European James Bond knockoffs. I actually watched one the other week, and the ninja guy was in it, Richard Harrison from the Godfrey Ho films. And he looks like 40 then. Yeah, I only watched it because the film was called Secret Agent Fireball, and I figured with a name like that, it had to be good.
Okay,
Clothesline German suplex, kinda. Magenta Flosion. Watch Oh, the I only watched that because, like, I bought the soundtrack without seeing the film because there was, like, garbage and Everclear and stuff on it. And, like, the garbage song ended up just being, like, the sexiest song ever written. The sexiest bass line, anyway. If you've seen La Sirena's entrance in this game, you'll know what I'm on about, because it's the same song. Hearing that song at 13 years old did things to me. It changed who I was as a human. Chainsaw pops right back up like, what the fuck are you doing?
okay, baby.
So again, like, now that you're talking about it, I would add it to the list, but I have seen it and I do remember it. So... See, like, I'm pretty sure the first, like, and, like, Roberta's talking about, like, the range of John Leguizamo there. And it's funny, and I know Sasha has an odd soft spot for this film, but the first thing I remember seeing John Leguizamo in was The Pest, which is, like, one of the worst films ever made. Literally the only bit I remember laughing at in the past was the Scottish Mafia bit at the start where it's Sean Connery's birthday and the guy starts playing for He's a Good Jolly Good Fellow on the bagpipes. So yes, Sasha has a thing for trying to mash up the tune from the start of the past with other songs on Rave DJ, which I discovered the other day, or discovered that Sasha does this, I mean, based on me trying to put Cardiac songs into it and inadvertently breaking the website. Hey, I said it was one of the worst films ever made. I didn't say it wasn't a fun watch. Because I will take a bad film over a mediocre film every day of the week. It's a roundabout way to punch someone, but I'll take it. The same way, well, like when I've been doing these films, when I rate them out of 10, it's not based on how good I think the film is, or how good the acting is, or anything like that, or, you know, is it cohesively written, or blah, 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 blah. It's based on just how much of a blast was this to watch. And Blake gets the win. So that could set up a title match. You never know. %. Oh, there we go. Anyway, next up, deathmatch. Alex King versus Casey Logan. Which is happening because Buff Catwell threw Alex King out of the Hyperbowl. Alex King wants revenge, but wants it in a deathmatch. Buff Catwell isn't a deathmatch wrestler, but their stablemate Casey Logan is. Betting's now live, let's go!
Fight!
Catwell has done death matches, yes, but they are not a deathmatch wrestler at heart. Whereas Casey Logan has always erred a bit more on the side of hardcore one. Mix of like hardcore and strikes, I would say. Will this ring explode? Yes. Pump in the arm. Did I rate Alex King in the thing? Yes, I did. I'm an idiot. Yep. Stop all having the same names! Yeah, it is Alex Cass, not Alex King. I fucked up. And I apologise. And you know what, for that, I will refund the bet. And restart it with the correct people. Yous all know me, I trip over my words and shit at the best of times. This, incidentally, a completely non-binary deathmatch. You know what? I was rewatching that stuff, British, because I wanted to try and get like records for like previous Hyperbowls, like who had the most eliminations, who lasted the longest and stuff. And I thought you had the longest, but you didn't. You're like off by like 40 seconds, like 40 in-game seconds. The longest is actually from the same one. And it was Colossus Maximus. In fact, the top 3 are all within like 40 seconds of each other. And they're all from the same one. Because it's Colossus Maximus at the top. Then it's Big Chef, and Big Chef's one only stopped because they won the damn thing. And then it's Alex King. Yeah, I always try to do that, Roberto. I always try to throw 1 or 2 surprises in. Hammer to the face. We've seen Cass do big damage with that hammer before. Same! Never apologise for being late. I'm late all the time. It's fine. How you doing, my pal? I'm sorry to say though, you actually just missed your match. Oh. There is the buzzer. So friends, we regret to inform you, the ring explode! Hey King, you slow style. How's it going? I'm doing good. How are you? %. No bad. I clicked that thing too soon, but it's fine. Hey, Brian J. Dragon Spike. Richard G. Hawk. Versus Meditai, consisting of Onigiri Toru, Pegasus, Okaku, and Mitsui. Spike managed to remove that bow tie. I don't know if he does. Or has, rather. Here comes the team. Sure enough, there is that bow tie. Adorned once again by Richard G. Hawk as well. Some have alleged that they are CGI. And there he is, still wearing that title that he lost, that I forgot to remove from the entrances. Don't tell anyone. He's wearing a replica! It's CGI just like his bow tie. And here come their opponents. Mitsui out first. Pegasus Okaku out next. And Onigiri Toru. Okaku at least happy to be here. So it will be Brian and Onigiri Toru starting things out. Of course, this coming from Brian eliminating Onigiri Toru from the Hyperbowl. And we still need to do, of course, from last year, the Rookie of the Year tournament. You would have to think Toru one of the shoo-ins for that. There they are, wearing those bow ties, maybe as a sign of unity or allegiance to their partner Brian J here. Big scoop slam there. Of course, Brian's team heavier, harder hitters than the Omedetai team, who are a bit more lightweight. Big hip toss there. Tag. Oh, here we go. Two known kickers. Thunderous kicks delivered from both. Which is vicious. Ground and pound. This, of course, this allegiance, I guess you'd call it, all dates back to the Scudbum Scramble, where they competed alongside Brian as the Bowtie Bandits. And those Naomichi Marufuji-like chops from Pegasus Okaku, whipping them right into the chest of Richard G. Hawk, but could not take him down. Mitsui tagged back in. Hawk trying his best to fight them both off. And now realising maybe he needed to get out of dodge, but blocked from that by Mitsui. Oh, Mitsui had been held in place. Drop kicks Brian all the way out to the outside. Now we've got a fight in our hands here. Bit of double teaming on Mitsui, but the Omedetai boys. Huge kick there by Mitsui. And that's what Dragon Spike brings to this team. That shoot fighting ability. Kaku, on the other hand, just bringing vicious chops. Beginning to break down there. Kaku planted center of the ring. Rolls through into the cover. Referee Steve Dev right there to make the count. Going for the cover. Nearly had Dragon Spike there. Back to the two quote-unquote captains. The leaders of these groups. Oh, DDT! At least I'm assuming those Unity bow ties make Brian the leader. Engacho! But Pegasus Okaku not able to run interference, forced out of the ring at the wrong time. Oh, down goes Steve Dev. Nice code breaker there from Mitsui. Nearly gone. And Mitsui could be in trouble here. Tried for the code behind, but gets caught by that suplex. Nailed the Enziguri perfectly. No stopping there. Tag. Brian, alley-oop all the way to the floor. And Toru fighting for his life out there. Beats the count though. But he is in trouble. Folded up with a powerbomb. Not by the legal participant though. Getting out of dodge. Kaku dodges the takedown, gets caught by that leg kick. Into that fish hook SDF. Mitsui with the save. Now, rear naked choke. Again Mitsui. Saving his partner. And now they trade shots. Those whip-like hands. Not really a critical, trying to fool him. And now, Toru, the numbers game. Give him the disadvantage here. Oh, tried for the car. Tried to lure Brian into his own corner. The smart move did not quite pay off. Oh God, planted. That turning Uranagi there. Rolling elbow. Now Pegasus fighting with Brian, who gets out of there. What a good fight we've got. Oh, he's set up. Look at him go. Left him taste of that one. Super kick into the cover. Punched in the back of the head like his name was Letty. Double powerbomb there for Mitsui. And this is turning into a hell of a match. Oh! Takes the leg out of nowhere. Tori managed to escape, but this is a war. Engancho! Brian breaks it up and manages to tap out Dragon Spike amidst all the confusion. What a damn match. And nobody bet on a Meditai. That was your mistake. As they came through 89%. What a fight. As next up, it's Manlin versus Henry Rivers. Let's go. Betting is now live for this one. Manlin versus Henry Rivers. Of course, this absolute rascal, this Hex rascal, destroying the dream of Henry Rivers, who wanted so much to win the Hyperbowl, to get his hands on Holyrood. The man who put him on the shelf. But now he's back. Here we go.
Fight.
Revenge on the mind of Henry here. Get scoop slammed right out the ring, you fud. Manlin already going for the weaponry, which is very much his forte.
Give up.
You can see a bit of cautiousness to Henry's game here. Maybe as the result of just coming back from an injury. But no cautiousness in that. Oh, hell yeah, Roberta. drop kicks, takes out the leg. I need to... These are talking about Yakuza games now. I really need to get round to playing Lost Judgment. If I've got the energy, I might even start it tomorrow. Exactly, Roberta. You ever see a man say goodbye to a spoon? Oh, nice roll up there from Henry. It took him too close to the ropes. Henry sets up. Leapfrog Bulldog. Manlin going for the cover. Nothing doing there. Oh, he's setting up for the bear killer bomb. Manlin just barely escaped. Go. Oh, nice dodge there from Manlin. Oh God, he's got a light tube. Henry manages to escape and power bombed on the floor. Stop grabbing light tubes, you arsehole. DDT. This is why backstage is in a fucking shambles. Because of wrestlers like Manlin. Henry escapes, keeps fighting on. Beautiful super kick. Oh, looking for that draping DDT again. Leg is hooked, cover. And Manlin, sadly, and he won't release the pin. That bastard. So between the events of the Hyperbowl and now this, it does beg the question, did Henry come back too soon? Time will tell. Okay, so our next match. Some people you may have noticed conspicuous by their absence tonight have been the Final Form. But they know Bronson's here and they have sent in one of their members at least, Stephen Morgan. To try and take him down, to try and redeem himself for being awarded the nicest number during the Hyperbowl and not getting the job done. So here he is, the winner of the 2022 Hyperbowl, Bronson Lee. Done it. It's done. It's done. Yeah, trying to... The final form, maybe they've got someone in the production office trying to ensure that it looks like Bronson got a jobber entrance. And he's taking aim at Bronson right there.
Fight!
Yeah, it does, Bronson. Yeah, it does. Wait, are you talking about your entrance music or the background music for the match? Because either way, both is true. Oh, you never fall for that one. It is from Ninja Warriors, Bronson. And they're both, I mean, different in a lot of ways, but similar in a lot of ways. Both like to use what I guess you would call unorthodox methods, like you saw there from Stephen Morgan, to bamboozle their opponents. But both can wrestle as well. A lot more of Bronson's offense aimed more at frustrating his opponents, trying to cause them to make a mistake. But then you get moves like that. The King of Sus style. You best believe if this was still in 2K, I would have given Bronson Shinsuke's entrance based on that alone. Nice drop to hold. Giving him the wet willy. Bronson fighting his way out. Smacks to the head from Bronson. I'm like 90% sure that's been a thing. Spike Dragon. Because if there's one thing independent wrestling loves, it's parody t-shirts. And again, with a rolling elbow to the back of the head. He's not stopping. Followed by the DDT. Bronson though kicks the leg out the leg, going back to the wet willy. Low blow. And now, Paradise Lock. Smacks the ass. Bronson slowly but surely coming back into this one. There again, though, wearing down the legs. So much of what Bronson does just aimed at demoralising his opponents. Powerful cover! This, of course, our semi-main event tonight. Main event, as per usual, the Twitch.tv title defence, which will be Mark Ansoni defending against Raibuka. Oh my... Oh! Underneath the steel sky! It's just struck me that I don't know if Bronson's heard Raibuka's entrance music in this. Oh, trying to play a trick on the referee. It didn't quite work. Big stinging lariat there. Bronson, go behind, repeat low blows. Quite proud of himself with that one. Frog splash. Could not keep him down. Rolls through, power bomb. Likes to follow with the knee. Could be it. But Bronson still in this, gets suplexed all the way to the floor. Bronson bomb on the floor. Trying to play a trick, but the referee doesn't believe it because it's on the outside or something. Into the cover off the double low blow. Go back, gets caught, roll up. 2.9. Smoked with a lariat. Thank you very much, JP Fraser, for the follow. And Stephen Morgan steals it. And Owen, thank you for the raid as well, JP Fraser. The notifications came through in a weird order, but thank you very much. 100% though. You cannot turn your nose up at that. For our main event, it will be Mark Ansoni defending the Twitch.tv Championship against Raibuka, who has been awarded this title shot for as a reward for their performance in the Hyperbowl last week. Here he is, the quote-unquote big guy. Zack Sabre Jr. voice, man. So yeah, this is our main event for the Twitch.tv Championship. A title that just gets defended on every show. Going up against Mark and Sony, the captain of only Graps. Real, like, even though it's not in the Chiron, because he's the champion, but still, he's based on a friend of ours, and he has a very real OnlyFans link.
Fight.
Big scoop slam there from the champion to start things out. Followed by the big slap. Oh, the Wu Commands subscriber thing. Alas. I still need to get back to setting the rest of them up since I moved from Streamlabs to Stream Elements. But I have not been, truth told, I've not been streaming a lot lately. And I also need to fix the volume on them as well, holy shit. I'll have a wee test stream maybe in a couple of days to try and iron out the kinks of that stuff. Superman punch. Wee bit, but I mean, yeah, I guess I can hear it, yeah. I mean, hell, like Jim Johnson bumped his own themes all the time, so, you know. And there is the trademark of a Mark and Sony match, that titty smack battle. Senior official Big Hands Johnson watches on. But Raibuka, I mean, let's be real. Raibuka does not have a great win-loss record, but he earned this shot by his, let's be honest, surprising performance in the Hyperbowl last week. Lasted a good little while, got himself a good few eliminations. The Hyperbowl, of course, being basically a Royal Rumble, but there's 69 people. Nice. Oh, big Finlay roll there from Ansoni. And incidentally, Raibuka also based on a friend of ours, good friend Raibuka, who is also active on Twitch. You can follow him at twitch.tv/Raibuka. This is Super Pro Wrestle. Most of the characters are based on, like, ourselves or friends of ours or what have you. Just members of our community. And some original creations as well. Oh, he calls that, she calls it the rear view. That didn't work out too well for Raibuka. Big boy senton. Off the ropes again. Superman punch. And then Sony just getting fired up. But Raibuka is not staying down. You can see him getting a bit worn out, but he is still fighting. Big Larry there, and Sonny right back to his feet, but you could see he was dazed. Big meaty forearm there. Oh, has him! The beef rack! That could be it! We could have a new champion right here. Just barely. And Sonny kicks out. Hoisted up. By the head again. And credit to him, Raibuka is putting up a fight. Nice hands. I mean, ETK, when you have a match of this magnitude, you don't need a safe pair of hands to referee it. You need a big pair of hands, and that's exactly what Big Hands Johnson has. And here they go again.
Are you ready?
Yeah, senior official, not to be confused with senior official, who is a masked referee in a Spain football kit. Well, goes to the eyes. BBC, yeah. And if you're talking about the channel, I don't think they would carry this. Burning loin hammer from Ansoni. And once again successfully defends the Twitch.tv championship. So 90% rated. And he keeps that title around his sexy, sexy waist. Be sure to tune in next Saturday, where we will continue with Super Pro Wrestle Scudbum Saturday night and have more fallout from the Hyperbowl. We'll see you then!